there is a unique silence that follows a holiday visit born of obligation. It isn't the peaceful quiet of solitude. It's a hollow echo. It's the sound of a space that was recently filled with polite conversation, with the careful dance of questions asked and answers given, all while the clock on the wall seemed to tick just a little too loudly. The front door clicks shut. The sound of the car engine fades down the street, and in their place, a feeling rushes in. It's the feeling of having been an item on a to-do list, a checkbox marked for the day. And now, the task is complete. The silence that remains is heavy with unspoken things, with the ghost of a warmth that used to be effortless and now requires so much careful construction. It's the ache of knowing that the love is still there, somewhere deep beneath the surface, but it has become entangled with the hurried, stressful, and demanding nature of modern life. And so, the question settles into the quiet rooms of the house and into the quiet chambers of your own heart. How do we sit with this truth? How do we find a way to rest, to find peace, when the connection we long for has changed its shape into something that feels more like duty than desire? Tonight, we won't search for easy answers or pretend the feeling isn't there. Instead, we will simply make space for it. We will learn to hold this painful, complex truth with a new kind of gentleness, allowing it to be what it is, without letting it steal our peace. By the end of our time together, a quiet understanding will begin to settle, a sense that you can honor what was, accept what is, and still find a deep and profound sense of your own unchanging worth, independent of anyone else's hurried schedule. So let's begin the process of letting go, not of the love, but of the performance. Find your place of rest now. Settle into your bed and allow the full weight of your body to be held. Feel the support of the mattress beneath you, a solid, dependable presence that asks nothing of you. It is here to simply hold you, to allow you to soften and release. Take a moment to notice the space you are in, the quiet of your room. Perhaps you can hear the faint, distant hum of the world outside, or maybe it is perfectly still. Notice the quality of the air on your skin. Notice the time of night it might be. Whether it is the late evening, as the day finally gives up its last light, or the deep, silent hours of the very early morning, when sleep has been elusive. It doesn't matter. This moment, this quiet, right here and right now, belongs entirely to you. There is no one to perform for, no expectations to meet, no role you need to play. You can let the mask you wore today finally dissolve. The day required a certain kind of strength, a performance of patience and gentle smiles. It required you to be the gracious host, the loving parent, the doting grandparent, all while a part of you felt the subtle sting of distance. That performance takes energy. It is a quiet, hidden effort that can leave you feeling deeply exhausted, more so than any physical labor. And now, the curtain has fallen. The audience has gone home. You are allowed to feel the full weight of that exhaustion. Let's release the physical remnants of that performance, because the body always keeps the score. Bring your awareness to your jaw. It may have been held tight all day, clenching back words that couldn't be said, or holding a smile that didn't quite reach your eyes. Consciously allow it to soften. Let your teeth part slightly, and feel the muscles in your cheeks and temples begin to release. It's as if you're letting go of a conversation you no longer need to have. Now, bring your attention to your shoulders. They may be drawn up towards your ears, carrying the weight of the day's unspoken emotions. Let them drop. With a slow, gentle exhale, feel them sink down, away from your ears, releasing a burden you didn't even realize you were carrying. Feel the space this creates around your neck and across your upper back. This is the feeling of letting go of responsibility just for tonight. Notice your hands. Were they clenched in your lap? Were your fingers fidgeting with a napkin or the arm of a chair? Let them be soft now. Allow your fingers to gently curl inward, resting with ease at your sides or on your stomach. Your hands have given so much. They have cooked, cleaned, held, and hugged. Tonight, they need only to rest. They have no more work to do. As you allow this physical softening to spread through your body, let's set a simple, gentle intention for this time of rest. Our intention is not to fight the feeling of sadness or disappointment. It is not to solve the puzzle of our changing family dynamics. It is certainly not to pretend that we don't feel what we feel. No, the intention for tonight is simply to hold this truth, the truth of this moment, with immense kindness. Imagine you are holding a small, fragile bird in the palms of your hands. You wouldn't crush it. You wouldn't ignore it. You would simply hold it gently, providing warmth and safety, allowing it to be exactly as it is without judgment. That is how we will hold this feeling tonight. We will cradle the ache of obligation, the grief for a different time, and the loneliness that echoes in the silence. We will hold it all with a gentle, compassionate awareness. And in doing so, we create the possibility for peace. Not the peace of denial, but the deep, authentic peace that comes from accepting reality with an open and courageous heart. You have done enough for one day. The performance is over. All that is left now is to breathe, to soften, and to allow yourself to be held right here in this quiet, sacred space of your own rest. As your body continues to soften, let your mind drift back, just for a moment, to the visit. We are not going back to analyze or to blame, but simply to witness. Like watching a film of a day that has already passed, we can observe it with a gentle detachment. Remember the flow of conversation. At first, there is often a genuine attempt at connection, a sharing of news, a series of questions. But did you notice the subtle shift? The moment when the energy changed from true presence to polite performance. It's a change that is felt more than it is seen. The stories become shorter, the answers a little more rehearsed. The comfortable silences that once existed between you, full of unspoken understanding, are now filled with a sense of slight anxiety, a need to find the next topic of conversation to keep the fragile peace. The easy, flowing river of connection becomes a series of carefully placed stepping stones, each one chosen to avoid any deep or difficult waters. You could feel yourself doing it too, choosing the safer topics, avoiding the things that truly weighed on your heart because the emotional space simply wasn't there to hold them. This is the first layer of the hollow feeling. Witnessing a genuine connection being replaced by a well-meaning, but ultimately unsatisfying imitation of itself. And then comes the moment that feels like a small, sharp splinter in the heart. It's the moment you see them look at the clock. It's not an obvious gesture. It is often a quick, almost secret glance, a subtle tilt of the head. Or perhaps it's the way they place their phone on the table, face up, as if waiting for an important message that will provide a reason to depart. Their bodies are still in the room with you, but their minds have already left. You can see it in their eyes. Their focus has shifted from the present moment with you to the future moment of their departure and the long list of tasks that await them. They are thinking about the traffic on the way home, the emails they need to answer, the children's homework, the pressures of a life that pulls them in 1,000 different directions. In that instant, you feel yourself become part of the background, the scenery in which their own busy lives are unfolding. The conversation continues, but you are acutely aware that you are only receiving a fraction of their attention. This is a unique and quiet kind of pain. It is the pain of being with someone you love, someone who loves you, and feeling utterly alone. It is the realization that their presence is now conditional, measured out in minutes and hours, dictated by a schedule that has no room for the timeless, lingering connection you remember and crave. Their restlessness becomes a palpable energy in the room, a silent drumbeat urging the visit toward its conclusion. Let's be brave enough tonight to give a name to this hollow feeling. When we name something, we take away its power to haunt us from the shadows. We bring it into the light of our awareness, where we can look at it with compassion. The feeling is this: you have become a chore, an obligation, a duty to be performed. Please, let that land softly. Hearing those words might bring a fresh wave of sadness, and that is okay. Allow it. We are not stating this as an absolute truth of who you are, but as an honest name for the feeling that arises from these interactions. It feels as though the visit is no longer rooted in a simple desire to be with you, but in a sense of responsibility. It's the feeling of being the family elder who must be checked on, the tradition that must be upheld, the box that must be ticked before they can return to their real lives. This feeling carries with it a profound sense of loneliness. It's the feeling that you are a relic from a past they have moved on from, a quiet harbor they briefly visit out of a sense of loyalty before setting sail again on their own tumultuous seas. And with that feeling comes the quiet, painful thought that perhaps, just perhaps, you have become a burden, a weight on their already heavy load. This thought is one of the most difficult a human heart can hold, especially for someone who has spent a lifetime giving, nurturing, and lightening the loads of others. To feel like the source of pressure rather than the source of comfort is a deep and disorienting grief. Tonight, your only task is to acknowledge that this feeling is present. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to change it. You don't even have to believe it's the whole truth. You are simply allowing yourself to say, yes, this is here. This is what I am feeling. By naming it, we create a space between ourselves and the feeling. You are not the feeling. You are the wise, loving awareness that is noticing the feeling. You are the vast, open sky, and this feeling of being a chore is just one heavy gray cloud passing through. Acknowledge its presence, note its shape and its weight, and then just let it be, without judgment, as you continue to breathe. You have spent so much of your life sensing the needs of others. It is no surprise that you can sense this shift so acutely. Your sensitivity is not a flaw. It is a sign of your deep capacity for connection. You see the truth because you have always paid attention. And the truth you are seeing right now hurts. And that is perfectly, profoundly human. Let the simple act of naming it be a form of release. The pretense is over. The truth is on the table, held here in this safe, quiet darkness, and you are strong enough to look at it. Now, as we hold this named feeling, this hollow ache of obligation, let us gently turn our awareness toward the past, not to live there, not to become lost in nostalgia, but to honor what was. Because part of the pain of the present is the contrast it holds with the richness of memory. Allow your mind to drift back, like turning the soft, worn pages of a beloved photo album. Remember the holidays of years gone by. Remember the feeling of the house, not just full, but alive. Can you recall the sound of it? The genuine, unforced laughter echoing from another room. The chaotic, joyful noise of grandchildren playing, their small feet thundering through the hallways, their voices a symphony of pure, unfiltered excitement. Remember the smells that filled the air, the scent of your cooking, a scent that meant home, safety, and celebration. It wasn't just the smell of food, it was the aroma of belonging. Think of the conversations then. They were not measured by the clock. They meandered. They lingered. People would sit at the kitchen table for hours, long after the meal was done, nursing a cup of coffee or tea, simply being together. There was no rush. There was nowhere else more important to be. The connection was the entire point of the gathering, not something squeezed in between other commitments. You were not the host of a scheduled event. You were the very center of the family's gravity, the sun around which all these beloved planets orbited with ease and natural joy. Feel the warmth of that memory, not with a sense of bitterness for its loss, but with a sense of gratitude that it happened. That warmth was real. That connection was true. It is a part of your story, a treasure that can never be tarnished or taken away. It is precisely because these memories are so rich and so real that the current reality feels so stark in comparison. The grief you feel is a testament to the love that existed in those moments. Grief is, after all, simply love with nowhere to go. It is the heart's natural response to loss. And what has been lost is not the love itself, but the form in which that love was expressed. The effortless gatherings, the easy laughter, the sense of being the cherished center of it all, that form has changed. And it is not only okay, but necessary to grieve that change. In our culture, we are often told to be strong, to look on the bright side, to not dwell on the past. But wisdom knows that some things must be mourned before they can be released. So, tonight, here in the safety of your own quiet space, give yourself permission to feel the sadness. Let the wave of grief for what was wash over you. There is no need to build a dam against it. Allow the feeling of loss to rise. You are not being weak or sentimental. You are being profoundly human. You are honoring the beauty of what you created and nurtured for so many years. To feel sadness at the changing of a season is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that you love the season that is past. You love the summer of your family's life, with its long, warm, sunlit days. And now, as the air chills and the days grow shorter, a kind of autumn has arrived. It has its own quiet beauty, but it is different. And the change brings a natural, understandable sorrow. Let's validate this feeling completely, without any judgment or self-recrimination. It is not your fault that things have changed. It is not their fault either. This is not about blame. Blame is a heavy, useless stone that only weighs us down. Tonight, we are setting that stone aside. We are simply sitting with the pure, uncomplicated truth that something precious has shifted. It feels like a loss because it is a loss. You have lost a particular way of being together. You have lost the feeling of being an essential, vibrant hub, and now feel more like a quiet, distant outpost. Acknowledge the reality of that loss. Say to yourself, "It is true. Things are different now, and I am sad about it. And my sadness is a valid and honorable response." When we give ourselves this permission to feel, something remarkable happens. The feeling, once acknowledged, begins to soften. When we fight against sadness, it pushes back, becoming a persistent, nagging ache. But when we welcome it, when we give it a seat at our table and listen to its story, it eventually delivers its message and moves on. The message of this sadness is simple. What we had was beautiful. What we had mattered. By allowing yourself to feel the grief, you are paying tribute to the love that was and still is. You are affirming the value of all those years of effort, care, and devotion. You are saying that the connection you built was so profound that its changing shape is worthy of tears. So breathe into that space of gentle sorrow. Feel it in your chest, a quiet ache of remembrance. It is the echo of laughter that has faded. It is the ghost of hugs from small arms that are now grown. It is the memory of a time when your presence was not just appreciated, but deeply needed. Allow this grief its moment. It is the rain that is needed to water the ground for whatever new kind of growth is to come. There is a quiet dignity in mourning the passage of time. And tonight, you have earned the right to that dignity. Just for a little while, let the tears, seen or unseen, be a tribute to a beautiful chapter in the story of your life. As this gentle grief washes through, let's widen our lens. Let's pull the camera back from your personal story, just for a moment, and see the larger picture. The story you are living, this transition from being the center of the family to its quiet periphery, is a story as old as time itself. You are not alone in this experience. All around the world, in every culture, through every generation, this same quiet shift occurs. It is a natural season in the life of a family. Think of it like the tide. For many years, the tide of family life flowed towards you. You were the shore where everyone gathered, the place of safety and nourishment. The waves of daily life, of holidays and milestones, all crashed upon your loving shores. It was a time of beautiful, bustling energy, full of sound and life. And now, the tide is receding. It has not vanished. It has simply changed its direction. The water is being pulled outwards, towards new shores, towards the lives your children are building, towards the families your grandchildren are creating. The tide of life always, and inevitably, pulls the younger generations out into their own busy worlds. They are caught in the powerful currents of their own careers, their mortgages, their friendships, and the immense, all-consuming project of raising their own children. Their lives are complex and demanding in ways you understand deeply, for you once navigated those same currents yourself. The stress and distraction you sense from them, the hurried visits and the glances at the clock, are a direct reflection of the lives they are living. It is the signature of their time, a time of constant digital connection and immense societal pressure. It is not, and this is the most crucial part, a measure of your worth. It is not a report card on your value as a parent or grandparent. It is simply the weather report from their world, and their world is often stormy. It can be so easy to internalize their stress, to believe that their distraction is a direct commentary on you. To think, if I were more interesting, they would stay longer. Or, if I hadn't said that one thing, they would be more relaxed. We can spin 1,000 stories of our own inadequacy. But tonight, let's choose a different story. One that is not only kinder, but also far more true. The story is this: the foundation of love you built is precisely what allows them to have these busy, complicated lives. You gave them the roots of security and the wings of confidence. You taught them how to work hard, how to love, how to build a life of their own. And now, they're doing exactly that. The fact that their lives are so full is, in a strange and painful way, a testament to your success. You poured your life, your energy, your love into them so that they could one day build their own worlds. And they have. This current season of their distraction and obligation is not a failure of the love you built. It is the complex, messy, and often frustrating fruit of it. Your love created the very foundation for the busy lives they now lead. This is not a personal rejection. It is a natural, universal, and deeply human cycle. It is the way of the world. The fledglings you so carefully nurtured have flown from the nest and are now consumed with the monumental task of building nests of their own. They still know where their home nest is. They remember its warmth and safety, but they cannot linger there as they once did. Their energy must be focused on their own flight, on weathering their own storms. Let this understanding settle over you like a warm, weighted blanket. It doesn't erase the feeling of loneliness, but it can soften its sharpest edges. It can lift the heavy burden of self-blame. You didn't do anything wrong. You are not being punished. You are simply experiencing one of the most poignant and universal transitions of a long and loving life. It is the bittersweet harvest of a family well raised. To see your children and grandchildren so caught up in their own lives is to see your legacy in action. They are living the lessons you taught them. They are embodying the strength you gave them. And while the current expression of their love may feel thin and stretched, like a rope pulled taut between their world and yours, the rope is still there. It holds. The fact that they show up at all, even out of a sense of duty, is proof that the connection remains unbreakable. So, let an affirmation sink deep into your heart tonight. Let it find its way past the feelings of doubt and hurt and settle into the core of your being. Repeat it silently to yourself as you breathe in and out. My love created the foundation for the busy lives they now lead. This is not a failure, but a sign of a life well lived. Let that truth be a balm on the ache you feel. You have lived well. You have loved well. And this new, quieter season does not diminish that truth in any way. It is simply the next chapter in a story that began with your incredible, life-giving love. You are witnessing the natural, albeit painful, unfolding of the very life you helped to create. And there is a deep, quiet honor in that. Having acknowledged the universal nature of this story, let's bring our focus back inward to the very personal and specific landscape of your own heart. Because understanding the grand, sweeping cycle of life does not magically erase the sting of your individual experience. It is one thing to know, intellectually, that this is a natural phase. It is another thing entirely to feel the quiet ache in the house after they leave. And so, tonight, we are going to give you something you may not have received from anyone else, perhaps not even from yourself. Full and unconditional permission to feel hurt by this change. Your feelings are real, they are valid, and they are profoundly understandable. There is nothing wrong with you for feeling a sense of loss or disappointment. In fact, it would be strange if you didn't. It is a deeply human response to feel a pang of sadness when a connection that was once easy and abundant becomes strained and measured. You are allowed to feel that hurt. You don't need to rationalize it away. You don't need to tell yourself, I shouldn't feel this way because they are so busy. You don't need to scold yourself for not being more grateful for the brief time you had. All of that self-judgment is like adding a second, unnecessary wound on top of the first one. The first wound is the pain of the situation itself. The second is the pain of judging yourself for having the first wound. Tonight, we are going to tend only to the first wound, and we will do so with kindness. Your hurt is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that your heart is still open. It is a sign that you still care deeply. It is a testament to your capacity for love. Only those who love deeply can feel this kind of loss. Now let's go a step further into a truth that might feel even more difficult to admit. Let's release any guilt you might be holding for having a thought like this. Sometimes, I almost wish they wouldn't come at all, rather than endure the charade. Take a deep breath as you consider that statement. It can feel like a terrible thing to think, a betrayal of your role as a loving parent or grandparent. Guilt might rush in immediately, telling you that you are selfish or ungrateful. But let's look at this thought with compassion and curiosity instead of judgment. Where does this thought come from? It doesn't come from a lack of love. It comes from a surplus of authenticity. It comes from the deep, intuitive part of you that knows the difference between genuine connection and polite performance. The performance is exhausting, not just for them, but for you. It requires you to smile, to pretend you don't notice their distraction, to keep the conversation light and superficial when your heart may be aching for something more. This performance, this charade, can sometimes feel more lonely than actual solitude. In solitude, at least, there is honesty. There is no pretense. You can be with your true feelings. But during an obligatory visit, you are often forced to be complicit in a play that feels hollow, and that can be a profoundly alienating experience. So, the desire for them not to come is not a rejection of them. It is a rejection of the performance. It is your soul's cry for something real. It is the wisdom within you saying, this imitation of connection is costing me more energy than it gives me. It is a sign of your own self-respect. You have lived long enough and have earned the wisdom to see things as they truly are. You can see past the polite smiles and the dutiful questions. You can feel the underlying tension, the unspoken rush. Your perception is not flawed. It is finely tuned. You are not imagining the distance. You are accurately sensing it. This clarity of perception is a gift of age and experience, but it can also be a burden because it forces you to see truths that are painful. So let this affirmation settle into your bones. My perception is valid. I have earned the wisdom to see things as they truly are. You are not being overly sensitive. You are not misinterpreting the situation. You are seeing it with clear eyes. And the desire to avoid the pain of that inauthentic encounter is a healthy, self-protective instinct. It is your spirit's way of trying to guard your heart against the repeated sting of disappointment. There is no need for guilt. Let it go. Release the idea that you must be endlessly grateful for any scrap of attention you receive. You are allowed to want more. You are allowed to miss the depth that once was, and you are allowed to feel weary of the performance that has taken its place. By giving yourself permission to feel these difficult emotions, the hurt, the disappointment, the weariness of the charade, you are not becoming a bitter person. You are becoming an honest one. And it is from this place of honesty that true peace can eventually grow. Not a peace based on denial or pretense, but a solid, grounded peace that comes from looking at the whole truth of your life, the beautiful and the painful, and saying, yes, this is how it is right now. And I have the strength and the grace to be with it. Your feelings are not the problem. They are simply messengers, delivering a true report from the territory of your heart. Tonight, we are just listening to the report without shooting the messenger. Now that we have given ourselves permission to feel, let's create a space to do just that. A safe, internal sanctuary where these feelings of disappointment, sadness, and loneliness can surface without overwhelming us. We are not going to wallow in them, nor are we going to be swept away by them. We are simply going to be a calm, steady witness to their presence. Imagine, for a moment, that your awareness is like a vast, open sky. It is boundless, clear, and fundamentally peaceful. It has seen countless sunrises and sunsets, storms and clear days. The sky itself is never harmed by the weather that passes through it. It simply holds it all. Tonight, you are that sky. Your feelings, the hurt, the grief, the frustration, are like clouds moving across that sky. They are not the sky itself. They are temporary weather patterns passing through. Your job right now is not to change the weather, but simply to observe it, to notice the clouds without having to become them. Let's begin by noticing the cloud of disappointment. See if you can locate it in your body. Where does disappointment live for you? Perhaps it's a tightness in your chest, a heavy feeling in the pit of your stomach, or a lump in your throat. Just notice the physical sensation of it. Don't try to push it away. Simply bring your gentle, sky-like awareness to it. Watch it as you would watch a real cloud. Notice its shape, its color, its texture. Is it dark and heavy, like a thundercloud? Or is it more diffuse and gray, like a lingering fog? You don't need to analyze why it's there. You've already done that. Now, you are just feeling its presence. As you breathe, imagine you are creating space all around this sensation. Breathe into your chest or your stomach, and with each exhale, feel that space around the feeling getting a little bigger. You are not trying to force the cloud to dissipate. You are simply giving it room to be, to float, to exist in the vastness of your awareness. Now, let another cloud drift into view. This is the cloud of loneliness. This one can feel particularly sharp. It's the echo in the quiet house, the feeling of being on the outside, looking in on your own family's busy lives. Again, notice where this feeling resides in your body. Loneliness often feels cold, an empty space around the heart. As you observe this cloud, acknowledge its pain. Whisper to yourself, yes, this is loneliness. I see you. It's okay that you are here. This simple act of acknowledgement is incredibly powerful. It is like turning a gentle, compassionate face toward a crying child. The child may not stop crying immediately, but it feels seen, it feels understood, and that alone begins the process of soothing. Continue to watch this cloud of loneliness. It may shift and change its shape as you observe it. It may even feel like it's beginning to thin out in places as the light of your awareness shines upon it. Perhaps there is another cloud present as well, a cloud of sadness or grief for what has been lost. This cloud might feel heavy and wet, like it's full of unshed tears. Let it be there too. Remember, you are the sky. You are vast enough to hold this. The sky does not fear the rain. It knows that rain is a necessary part of the cycle. It cleanses the air and nourishes the earth. In the same way, the tears of grief, whether they are shed or simply felt, cleanse the heart and water the soul. So allow this sadness its place in your sky. Watch it without judgment. Feel its weight, its texture, its temperature. Simply be with it, breathing softly, holding it in your boundless, compassionate awareness. As you continue this practice of observing the clouds, you may notice that they are not static. They are constantly moving, changing, and flowing. A moment of sadness might give way to a memory of a happy time, which then drifts back into a feeling of loneliness. This is the nature of emotions. They are not solid things. They are energy in motion. By watching them in this detached, loving way, you stop feeding them with resistant thoughts. You stop building stories around them that make them seem bigger and more permanent than they are. You are simply allowing them to follow their natural course, to arise, exist for a time, and then pass on. Now, let's use the breath as a way to consciously release the weight of it all. Take a slow, deep breath in, imagining you're gathering up all the tension, all the pretense, all the unspoken hurt from the day. Gather it all into your lungs. And then, with a long, slow, audible sigh, let it all go. Ah, feel the release. Feel the heavy weight of pretending you don't notice, pretending you don't feel, finally leaving your body. You have been carrying this weight all day, perhaps for much longer. The effort of maintaining that brave face, of swallowing your disappointment for the sake of keeping the peace, is immense. It creates a tension deep in your muscles and a pressure in your heart. Let's do that again. A deep breath in, gathering up the exhaustion of the performance, the strain of the smile. Hold it for a moment. And then, a full, complete exhale, releasing it all out into the quiet room. Let your shoulders drop even further. Let your jaw become even softer. You are laying down the heavy burden of unspoken truth. You are finally admitting to yourself, in this safe space, that yes, you notice. And yes, you feel. And in this simple, honest admission, there is a profound liberation. The clouds may still be in the sky, but you have remembered that you are the sky. And the sky is always, ultimately, at peace. As you continue to rest in this open, sky-like awareness, let's turn our attention to one specific role you've been playing. It is the role of the cheerful, untroubled elder, the one who is always okay, who never needs anything, who exists to make everyone else feel comfortable and unburdened. It is a noble role, born of deep love. You play it to protect them from feeling guilty about their busy lives. You play it so they can leave your home with a clear conscience, feeling they have done their duty and that you are perfectly fine. You pretend not to see the glances at the clock. You pretend the surface-level conversation is deeply fulfilling. You pretend their distracted energy doesn't create a distance between you. You have become a masterful actor in a play you never auditioned for, and the performance is draining your life force. Tonight, it is time to let go of your role in this performance. It is time to release the immense energy it takes to maintain this facade, for their sake and for yours. You can love them completely, without shouldering the responsibility for managing their feelings about the time they spend with you. That is their work to do, not yours. Your work is to be true to yourself. Imagine this performance as a heavy costume you've been wearing. It might be a beautiful costume, adorned with smiles and patient nods and selfless sentiments. But it is heavy. It restricts your breathing. It is hot and uncomfortable underneath. With each exhale now, imagine you are unfastening a button, loosening a strap, letting this costume fall away from you. Let the heavy cloak of pretense slide from your shoulders and pool on the floor. Step out of it. Feel the immediate lightness, the freedom of no longer having to hold up that weight. Feel the cool air on your skin, the simple relief of being just as you are, a person who feels things, a person with needs, a person who is sometimes not okay, and that is perfectly okay. Releasing your role in the performance does not mean you have to become angry or confrontational. It is an internal shift. It is the quiet decision to stop abandoning yourself for the sake of their comfort. Consider the sheer amount of energy it takes to keep up this pretense. Think of the effort involved in constantly monitoring your own words and expressions to ensure they don't betray a hint of your true feelings. Think of the mental gymnastics required to steer conversations away from anything too real, too deep, too vulnerable. It's like being a dam, holding back a powerful river of authentic emotion. This act of constant containment is one of the most exhausting things a human being can do. It creates a tension that seeps deep into the body, a cellular level stress that can disrupt sleep, affect digestion, and weaken the spirit. Tonight, we are consciously choosing to stop supplying the energy for that dam. We are letting the river flow, even if only within the safe banks of our own awareness. Let's trace the path of that tension through your body and consciously release it, piece by piece. We've already softened the jaw and shoulders, but let's return to them, because this is where the performance is so often held. Bring your awareness back to the muscles around your mouth and cheeks, the ones responsible for holding a smile in place even when your heart doesn't feel like smiling. With your next exhale, let a wave of softness smooth over your entire face. Feel the tiny muscles around your eyes relax. Feel your forehead become smooth and clear. You are letting go of the expression you felt you had to wear. You are allowing your face to return to a state of natural, peaceful repose. Let your face be neutral. Let it just be. Now, bring your awareness to your throat and your chest. This is where we swallow our words, where we hold back the things we wish we could say. This is where the lump of unshed tears can form. Imagine a warm, golden light filling this entire area. As you breathe in, this light becomes brighter. And as you breathe out, imagine it dissolving any tightness, any constriction. Breathe out the unspoken words. Breathe out the held back sighs. Give your heart space to breathe. The heart is the center of our truth. And when we are in a performance of inauthenticity, the heart can feel constricted, caged. Let your breath open that cage. Feel a sense of expansion in the center of your chest, a gentle opening. You are releasing the physical toll of an unspoken truth. Finally, bring your awareness to your solar plexus, that area in your upper stomach, just below your ribs. This is often where we hold anxiety, the nervous energy of trying to manage a situation, to keep things pleasant. When we're performing, this area can feel like a tight, churning knot. Place a hand there if it feels right. Feel the warmth of your own touch. And with each long, slow exhale, imagine that knot gently loosening. With every breath out, it unwinds just a little bit more. You are releasing the need to control the outcome of the visit. You are letting go of the responsibility to make it a good visit. You are allowing it to be whatever it is. And you are releasing your body from the state of high alert that comes with trying to manage it all. The truth is, your performance, while born of love, may not even be serving them. It might be preventing a more real, if sometimes awkward, connection from emerging. Perhaps they sense the pretense too, and it adds to their own discomfort. By gently letting go of your role, you create a space where something new, something more honest, might have a chance to grow in the future. But for tonight, the goal is not to change them. The goal is simply to liberate yourself, to release the tension, to lay down the costume, and to allow your own beautiful, authentic self to breathe freely in the quiet, healing darkness. Now that we have created some space by releasing the performance, let's step into a place of gentle reframing. This isn't about pretending that the hurt isn't real. It is real. But we can hold that hurt in one hand, and in the other, we can hold a different, more compassionate perspective. We can look at the situation from another angle, not to invalidate our own feelings, but to soften them with understanding. Let's introduce a quiet, challenging, but ultimately freeing idea. Obligation is often love's most difficult and most misunderstood expression. It is what love does when it is exhausted, when its resources of time, energy, and emotional bandwidth are stretched to their absolute limit. Think about it. When life is easy and time is abundant, love expresses itself effortlessly, like a vibrant, flowering vine in the summer. It's full of laughter, long conversations, and spontaneous joy. But when life is hard, when pressures are immense and demands are relentless, that same love doesn't vanish. It simply changes its form. It becomes distilled down to its most essential, skeletal action, showing up. Duty, in this light, is not the opposite of love. It is love in its winter form. It is the action taken when the vibrant feelings and boundless energy of summer are gone. It is the choice to make the visit, to make the call, to uphold the connection, even when every fiber of one's being is tired and pulled in a million other directions. It may not feel warm and nourishing to you, the receiver, but to them, the giver, it may be the most significant offering they can make in that moment. It is love stripped of all its poetry, leaving only the stark, powerful prose of commitment. It is the decision that says, even with everything else on my plate, this connection is important enough that I will not let it break. Let's try to reframe their visit, not as a sign that there is no love, but as proof that love is still strong enough to make them act. It's proof that your bond is so foundational in their lives that they will honor it even when they are depleted. They might be running on fumes, emotionally and physically, but they still use some of that precious fuel to make the journey to you. From our perspective, we feel the lack of their presence, their distraction. But from their perspective, they may feel they are giving you the very last of their reserves. What feels like crumbs to you might feel like the whole loaf to them. Think of a great, ancient tree, a tree that you yourself planted and nurtured. In the spring, it is glorious, covered in blossoms. In the summer, it is lush and green, offering deep shade. But in the winter, the leaves are gone. The branches are bare. It stands stark against a cold sky. From a distance, It might look dead or lifeless, but we know the truth. The life is not gone. It has simply gone deep underground. The real strength of the tree is in its roots, holding it firm, drawing nourishment from the deep earth, quietly enduring the harsh season. The love in your family is like that tree. You are seeing its winter expression, the outward display of leaves and blossoms. The easy laughter, the long visits may be absent, but the deep roots of connection, the roots you helped to create, are still there, holding everything together. Their obligatory visit is a sign of those roots. It is the tree's way of saying, I am still here. I am still standing. I am still holding firm to this ground we share. This perspective does not demand that you enjoy the winter. You are allowed to miss the summer. You are allowed to long for the warmth and the vibrant colors. But this view can prevent you from making the mistake of thinking the tree is dead just because its branches are bare. The life force, the love, is simply in a different phase of its cycle. It is conserving energy. It is enduring. It is waiting for a spring that may or may not come in the same way it did before, but it is holding on. When you see their glance at the clock, not as an insult to you, but as a symptom of the immense pressure they are under, something inside can soften. You shift from being the victim of their neglect to being a wise, compassionate witness to their struggle. You can see them not just as your children or grandchildren who are failing to meet your needs, but as fellow human beings trying to navigate a world that demands far too much of them. In that moment, your heart can move from a place of hurt to a place of empathy. You can silently say to them, I see how hard this is for you. I see that you are tired. Thank you for being here anyway. This is a profound internal shift. It costs you nothing, but it changes everything. It allows you to receive their gesture, however imperfect, as the act of love it is trying to be, deep beneath the surface of its awkward and unsatisfying execution. It allows you to see the roots, not just the bare branches. And in seeing those roots, you can feel the enduring strength of the love you created, even in the coldest season. Building on this idea of love in its winter form, let's explore another gentle possibility. What if their polite distance, their reluctance to share the messy details of their lives, is not an act of withholding, but an act of protection? Consider the world they live in. It is a world of immense complexity, stress, and often quiet desperation. They are navigating financial pressures, career anxieties, marital tensions, and the overwhelming responsibility of raising children in an uncertain world. Their inner lives may be chaotic, a swirling storm of worries and to-do lists. When they come to visit you, they are stepping out of that storm and into the quiet harbor that you represent. And perhaps, in their minds, this harbor is a place that must be kept peaceful. They may believe, from a place of deep and protective love, that you should not be burdened with their storms. They see you as someone to be sheltered, not troubled. Their polite, surface-level conversation might be their attempt to build a protective wall around you. They talk about the weather, the grandchildren's latest school project, the new show everyone is watching. They keep it light and simple because the alternative is to unleash the full force of their anxieties and struggles into your peaceful living room. They may look at you and think, she's been through so much. She has weathered enough storms in her life. She doesn't need to take on mine. Their distance, in this light, is not a sign that they don't trust you or value your wisdom. It could be the ultimate sign of respect. It is their way of trying to preserve your peace, of honoring you as the calm center they need you to be, even if they can only visit it for a short time. We often interpret their brevity and superficiality as a lack of interest in us. But what if it stems from a profound interest in our well-being? They remember you as the strong one, the one who held everything together. And in a strange reversal of roles, they are now trying, in their own clumsy way, to hold things together for you by presenting a curated, sanitized version of their lives. They show you the highlight reel because they fear the full movie would be too much for you to bear. This is a flawed strategy, of course. It creates the very distance you are feeling. It leaves you feeling shut out and lonely. But the intention behind it may not be to exclude you, but to shield you. Let's try to find the love, then, in the simple acts themselves, separate from our desire for a deeper emotional connection. The form of connection has changed, and for now, we can practice finding the meaning in the new form. The love is in the simple act of them being there. They carved out an hour or two from a life that has no empty spaces. They drove through traffic. They rearranged their schedule. The physical act of showing up is a powerful statement. The love is in the check-in call, even if it's brief and hurried while they're walking from their car to the grocery store. In that moment, out of all the things they could be doing, they thought of you. The love is in the remembered birthday card, the small gift, the forwarded photo of a grandchild. These are the ways connection takes shape now. They are smaller gestures, less immersive than the long, lingering visits of the past, but they are gestures nonetheless. They are signals sent across a busy, noisy distance that say, "You are still on my map. You are still a landmark in my heart." This is a practice of radical acceptance. It is about learning to receive the love that is actually being offered, instead of grieving the love we wish we were receiving. It's like learning to appreciate the sparse, subtle beauty of a winter landscape instead of only longing for the lushness of summer. In the winter, you have to look more closely to find the beauty. The delicate tracery of frost on a window pane, the stark silhouette of a tree against the sky, the quiet resilience of the sleeping earth. The beauty is there, but it is quieter, more subtle. The love is there, but it is quieter and more subtle now too. It is expressed in the effort, not necessarily in the emotion. Let this affirmation find a place within you, helping to reframe the story. The effort they make, in a world that pulls them in 1,000 directions, is a testament to your importance. Let that sink in. Their lives are a constant battle for their time and attention. Advertisers, employers, social media, their children's schools, everyone wants a piece of them. And yet, they still choose to give a piece to you. It may feel like a smaller piece than you used to get, and that is a real and valid grief. But it is a piece given in the face of immense competition. That makes it, in some ways, even more precious. It is a deliberate choice. It is an act of will. It is a declaration that no matter how chaotic their world becomes, you remain a non-negotiable part of it. This doesn't mean you have to be happy with the current arrangement. You are allowed to wish for more, but it can free you from the story that you are unimportant or forgotten. You are not forgotten. You are remembered, even in the midst of the storm. You are the lighthouse they look for, even if they are just a ship passing in the night. The light is on, and they know it. And the effort they make to sail a little closer, just for a moment, is the evidence of your enduring, unshakable importance in their lives. Let's now turn our attention to one of the heaviest and most painful stories we tell ourselves in this situation. The story that we are a burden. This thought can feel so convincing, so true. It whispers to us in the silence after they leave. It says, "They only visit out of guilt. My needs are a weight on them. Their lives would be easier without me." This story is a thief. It robs us of our peace, our dignity, and our ability to receive the love that is being offered, however imperfectly. Tonight, we are going to consciously challenge this story. We are not going to fight it with anger, but dissolve it with a gentler, more expansive truth. We are going to practice rewriting the story from "I am a burden" to "I am a beloved anchor point in their busy lives." Take a moment to feel the difference between those two statements. A burden is something heavy, unwanted, something that must be dragged along. An anchor point is something solid, essential, a point of stability and orientation in a swirling sea. It is a place to return to, a source of grounding, a reminder of home. An anchor does not demand that the ship stay in the harbor forever. Its job is to simply be there, solid and dependable, providing a safe point of reference, a place of ultimate return. You are their anchor. In their chaotic, constantly changing lives, you represent something permanent. You are their connection to their own history, to their childhood, to the person they were before the world placed so many heavy demands upon them. A visit to you, even a brief and distracted one, is a way for them to touch base with that history. It is a way to remember who they are at their core. In your presence, they are not just an employee or a boss or a mortgage payer. They are a son, a daughter, a grandchild. You hold the memory of their wholeness. This is not a burden. It is a profound and irreplaceable gift. An anchor doesn't need to do anything to prove its worth. Its value is in its steadfastness, its simple, solid presence. Your value is not in what you do for them now, but in who you are for them, always. It is so important to acknowledge that feeling like a burden is a thought, not a fact. It is a story we have constructed based on our interpretation of their behavior. We see their hurry, we feel their distraction, and we conclude, "I must be a burden." But as we've explored, there are so many other possible interpretations. They could be feeling the burden of their own lives, and their visit to you is an attempt to find a moment's relief. They could be trying to protect you from their burdens. The story of "I am a burden" is just one possible story, and it happens to be the most painful one. Tonight, we can choose a more compassionate thought. We can choose the story of being an anchor. We don't have to be 100% convinced it's true right away. We can simply try it on, like a new coat, and see how it feels. Let's practice. Silently, say the old story to yourself. "I am a burden." Notice how that feels in your body. It likely creates a feeling of shrinking, of heaviness in the chest, a desire to apologize for your own existence. It is a contracting, diminishing energy. Now, take a gentle breath and let that story go. As you exhale, release it. And now, try the new story. Silently, say to yourself, "I am an anchor. I am a point of stability and love in their lives." Feel the shift in your body. This thought creates a sense of quiet dignity, of solidity. It brings a feeling of expansion, not contraction. It allows you to stand tall in your own worth, independent of their actions. It is a story that empowers rather than diminishes. You have a choice which story you water and which you let wither. Tonight, and from now on, let's choose to water the story of the anchor. Let this compliment, this deep truth, settle into your heart. You have given so much, for so long. For decades, your life was a river of giving time, energy, comfort, wisdom, and boundless love. It is okay now for that river to slow, to pool into a deep, quiet lake. It is okay to simply receive. And even if what you receive has changed its shape, from long, lingering days to brief, hurried visits, it is still an offering. Learning to receive this new, different form of love is a challenge. It requires us to release our expectations of how things should be and to open ourselves to how they are. It requires us to see the love in the duty, the connection in the brief check-in. It asks us to stop measuring what we are getting and to simply acknowledge that we are still being given to, that we are still held in their hearts, even from a distance. You are not a project to be managed. You are not a problem to be solved. You are not a chore to be completed. You are home base. You are the North Star. You are the anchor in the storm. And the fact that they continue to orient themselves towards you, even for a moment, is the greatest evidence of your enduring, essential, and beloved presence in their world. Let that truth be the foundation upon which you rest tonight. Now, let's take a gentle but significant turn. For the past while, our focus has been on them, their lives, their motives, their expression of love. We have tried to understand and reframe our relationship to them. But now, it is time to bring the focus back home, to the one person who has been here through it all, you. Let's embark on a quiet journey of remembrance, recalling who you are outside of your role as a parent or grandparent. For so long, those roles may have been the primary definition of your identity. They were beautiful, all-consuming, and deeply meaningful. But they are not the entirety of who you are. You existed before those roles, and you exist outside of them now. You are a whole and complete person in your own right, with a story that is vast, rich, and uniquely yours. Let your mind drift back, before the children, or to the quiet moments in between. Who were you? What were your passions? What made your eyes light up with excitement? Perhaps you were an artist, a gardener, a reader who could get lost in books for hours. Maybe you were a traveler, a dancer, a skilled professional with a career you loved. Remember the person who had dreams and ambitions that were entirely their own. Reconnect with the sharp wit you possessed, the particular way you saw the world, the quiet hobbies that brought you a sense of peace and satisfaction. These parts of you have not vanished. They may have been dormant for a time, resting quietly in the background while the demands of family took center stage, but they are still there. They are the bedrock of your identity. Tonight, we gently brush the dust off these treasured parts of yourself. We acknowledge them. We honor them. You are not just a mother or a grandmother. You are a complex, fascinating human being with a lifetime of experiences that have shaped you into the wise person you are today. Your worth is not, and has never been, solely dependent on your relationship to others. Now, let's feel your own history, not just the happy memories, but the strength it took to live them. Think of the storms you have weathered in your life, the personal losses, the financial struggles, the health challenges, the moments of profound doubt and fear. You have walked through fire and have not been consumed. You have navigated treacherous waters and have found your way to shore. There is a quiet, indomitable strength within you that has always, always seen you through. Feel it now. It is not a loud, aggressive strength. It is a deep, resilient, enduring strength, like that of an old oak tree that has withstood 100 years of wind and weather. It is in your very bones. It is in the steady, rhythmic beating of your own heart, a heart that is broken and has mended itself, becoming stronger in the broken places. This strength is your own. You earned it. No one gave it to you. This is the strength that allows you to sit with the discomfort of your changing family dynamics without crumbling. It is the wisdom that allows you to see the bigger picture, to hold both your pain and a compassionate perspective at the same time. You are so much stronger than you think. The person who is feeling hurt by a brief, distracted visit is the very same person who has overcome immense challenges in the past. You have survived so much more than this. This current sadness is a real and valid pain, but it cannot and will not define you. It is simply one more season, one more storm that your deep-rooted strength will allow you to weather. Let this affirmation sink deep into the soil of your soul, nourishing the roots of your inherent worth. My worth is not determined by the length of a visit. It is not measured by the depth of a conversation. It is not contingent on anyone's attention. My worth is inherent and unchanging. Feel the truth of that. Your worth is a constant. It was there on the day you were born, and it will be there on the day you leave this earth. It is like the sun. On some days, it is obscured by clouds of loneliness or disappointment. We can't see it or feel its warmth as strongly. But we know, with absolute certainty, that the sun is still there, blazing in all its glory, behind the clouds. Your inherent worth is like that sun. The clouds of external circumstances can never diminish its light or its power. They can only temporarily obscure your view of it. Tonight, we are gently blowing away those clouds. We are remembering the sun. We are remembering that you are and have always been whole and complete, all on your own. Your roles as parent and grandparent are beautiful facets of your life, but they are not the source of your light. The light comes from within. It is the accumulated light of your laughter, your tears, your wisdom, your resilience, and your unshakable spirit. It is the light of a life fully lived, and it shines on, regardless of who comes to visit or for how long they stay. As you rest in this remembrance of your own wholeness and strength, let's connect with another profound resource that resides within you. It is the deep well of wisdom you have accumulated over a lifetime. This isn't intellectual knowledge from books. It is the embodied wisdom of the heart, earned through decades of navigating the complex, beautiful, and often painful realities of human relationships. Deep down, in the quietest part of your being, you already understand the complex and imperfect nature of human love. You know that love is not a simple, constant feeling. It is a dynamic, evolving force that changes its shape and expression over time. You have seen it in your own life. You know that love can coexist with frustration. That connection can be felt even in the midst of conflict, and that care can be expressed through clumsy, imperfect actions. Your inner wisdom knows that people, including those you love most, are a messy, beautiful bundle of good intentions, deep-seated fears, unhealed wounds, and immense pressures. They are doing the best they can with the tools and resources they have, just as you have always done. This wisdom within you is not surprised by the current situation. It does not panic. It does not fall into despair. It looks upon your children and grandchildren, caught in the frantic currents of their lives, and it understands. It sees their exhaustion. It recognizes their stress. It remembers what it was like to be at that stage of life, pulled in 100 directions at once, always feeling like you were failing someone. Your wisdom doesn't excuse the behavior that hurts you, but it understands the context from which it arises. And in that understanding, there is the seed of a profound and healing compassion. Let's acknowledge your incredible capacity for this compassion, a compassion that can extend in two directions simultaneously. First, a deep compassion for yourself. You have the capacity to look upon your own hurt, your loneliness, your grief, and to hold it all with tenderness, without judgment. You can be your own gentle caregiver, offering yourself the comfort and validation you may not be receiving from the outside world. You can whisper to your own heart, "It's okay to feel this way. This is hard. I am here with you." This self-compassion is not self-pity. It is the ultimate act of strength and self-reliance. It is the recognition that you have the resources within you to soothe your own pain. And second, you have the capacity for a spacious compassion for your family. From this place of inner strength and wisdom, you can look at them and see not just their actions, but their intentions. You can see the love that struggles to express itself through the heavy armor of their stress and obligations. You can have compassion for their limitations, for their human fallibility. This doesn't mean you have to like their behavior. It doesn't mean you have to pretend it doesn't hurt. Compassion is not approval. It is simply the wisdom to see the whole person, not just the part that is causing you pain. It is the ability to hold their story and your story in your heart at the same time, without needing one to cancel out the other. This is the compliment, the deep truth that we honor now. Your heart has the incredible capacity to hold both grief for what has changed and gratitude for what remains. This is not a simple state to achieve. It is the hallmark of true emotional and spiritual maturity. It is the ability to live in the both and of life. You can feel sad that the long, lingering visits are a thing of the past, and you can feel grateful for the brief, hurried visit that took place today. You can feel hurt by their distraction, and you can feel compassion for the pressures that cause their distraction. One feeling does not invalidate the other. Your heart is vast enough, wise enough, to hold it all. It can hold the shadow and the light, the loss and the blessing, all at once. This is the opposite of the black and white thinking that causes so much suffering. The suffering comes from thoughts like, if they really loved me, they would stay longer. This creates an impossible ultimatum. The wise heart knows a different truth. They love me, and their lives make it difficult to stay longer. This both and perspective is a balm for the soul. It releases us from the trap of resentment and allows for a more peaceful, accepting reality to emerge. It doesn't change the external situation, but it revolutionizes our internal experience of it. It allows us to find a place of peace even amidst imperfect circumstances. So, take a moment to honor this wisdom within you. It is your greatest guide. It is the calm, quiet voice beneath the clamor of your hurt feelings. It is the part of you that has seen it all and has integrated the lessons. Trust this wisdom. It knows the way. It knows that love is complex, that people are imperfect, and that your heart is strong enough to hold the whole, messy, beautiful truth of it all. As we begin to drift closer to the shores of sleep, let's take these gentle reframings, these compassionate perspectives we have cultivated, and weave them into the very fabric of our being. This is the process of integration, of allowing these ideas to move from the conscious mind into the deep, fertile ground of the heart and the subconscious. This is how a new understanding becomes a new way of being. Imagine these insights as threads of soft, luminous golden light. There is the thread of understanding that duty and love are often intertwined, that obligation can be the shape love takes when it is tired and strained. There is the thread of seeing yourself not as a burden, but as a beloved anchor, a point of stability in their stormy seas. There is the thread of your own inherent, unchanging worth, a light that shines brightly regardless of external validation. And there is the thread of your wise, compassionate heart, which has the capacity to hold both the grief for what has changed and the gratitude for what remains. See these beautiful, glowing threads floating gently in the space around you. Now, with each slow, deep breath you take, imagine you are gently weaving these threads into your heart. As you breathe in, draw this golden light of understanding deep into your chest. Feel it illuminating that space, bringing warmth and softness. As you breathe out, feel this light expanding, its gentle wisdom spreading from your heart outwards through every cell of your body. Let this compassionate understanding settle deep into your muscles, releasing the last remnants of tension. Let it settle into your mind, quieting the looping stories of hurt and disappointment. Let it seep into your subconscious, rewriting the old narratives of being a burden or being forgotten. This is a quiet, internal alchemy. We are transforming the leaden weight of our pain into the golden light of wisdom. We are not denying the pain. We are honoring it and then integrating the lessons it has brought us. The entire journey of this evening has been worthy. The initial sting of loneliness, the grief for the past, the frustration with the performance, all of it was necessary. It was the raw material. It was the catalyst that opened us up to seeking a deeper understanding. We had to feel the pain of the truth to be motivated to find the peace of acceptance. So, as you integrate these new perspectives, also honor the difficult feelings that brought you here. They were your guides. They were messengers pointing the way toward a more peaceful heart. Let this new, integrated story become your lullaby tonight. The story is no longer, I am alone and forgotten. The new story, the one settling into your bones, sounds more like this. Love has many seasons. I am now in its winter. It is quieter, more subtle, but the roots are deep and strong. I am an anchor of love and memory in my family's life. My worth is not in question. My heart is wise enough to hold the complexities. I can be at peace, even when things are not as I wish they were. Feel the deep restfulness in that story. It does not require anyone else to change. It does not demand a different reality. It finds peace right here, in the midst of things as they are. This is true freedom. This is the peace that passes all understanding. This process of integration doesn't mean you will never feel a pang of sadness about this again. You are human, and the heart will have its tender moments. But what is changing is your foundation. When those feelings arise in the future, they will land on this new, solid ground of compassionate understanding. They will be met by this integrated wisdom, which will be able to hold them with grace. The feelings will be like waves washing up on a shore. Before, the shore might have been made of loose, shifting sand, and the waves would cause erosion and distress. But now, you are building a shoreline of solid, smooth stones of wisdom. The waves will still come, but they will wash over these stones and recede gently without causing the same kind of damage. The sound they make will be a soothing rhythm, not a crash of destruction. You have done the work. You have faced the truth with courage. You have allowed your feelings to be felt. You have expanded your perspective with compassion. You have reconnected with your own deep strength and wisdom. There is nothing left to figure out tonight. There is nothing left to solve. You have tended to your heart with incredible care, and now your heart, held in this new tapestry of understanding, can finally rest. It can trust that it is okay. It can trust that you are okay. It can trust that love, in all its imperfect and mysterious forms, is still present. As you prepare for rest, let this feeling of gentle peace be the last conscious sensation. A quiet, knowing peace. A peace that is not fragile, but resilient. A peace that has been earned by walking through the truth and coming out the other side, holding the gift of wisdom in your hands. Allow this compassionate acceptance to be the very ground upon which you lay your head to sleep. And now, the work is done. The emotional work, the work of the heart and mind, is complete for tonight. There is a time for gentle reflection and a time for complete surrender. The time for reflection is over. The time for surrender has arrived. There is truly nothing left to figure out, nothing left to solve. You have tended to your inner world with grace and courage, and now it is time to let it be. The seeds of understanding we have planted will continue to grow in the quiet, fertile darkness of sleep, all on their own. You don't need to do anything more. Your only task now is to rest, to allow, to let go. The body knows it is time for rest. It has been waiting patiently for this signal, this permission to completely release. Begin to notice a deep, heavy, sinking feeling in your limbs. It's a pleasant heaviness, a feeling of profound relaxation. Start with your feet. Feel them becoming heavy, as if they are made of warm, smooth stone. This heaviness is the feeling of release. Let your feet be completely limp, releasing all the tension of standing, of walking, of holding you up all day. This heaviness begins to spread upwards into your ankles and your calves. Feel the muscles in your lower legs letting go, becoming soft and deeply relaxed. There is nowhere to go, nothing to do. Your legs can be completely at rest. This wave of heavy, warm relaxation flows up into your knees and into your thighs. Your thighs are some of the largest muscles in your body, and they can hold a great deal of tension. Consciously invite them to release. Feel their weight sinking down into the mattress, held completely by the support beneath you. You don't have to hold yourself up anymore. You are being held. Allow the full weight of your hips and your pelvis to sink down as well. This is the center of your body's support, and as it relaxes, a deep sense of grounding can spread through your entire being. Feel yourself becoming rooted in this state of rest. This heavy, peaceful sensation now flows up your spine, vertebra by vertebra. Feel the muscles along your back softening. letting go of their task of keeping you upright. Let your back melt into the bed. The feeling spreads into your stomach and your chest. With each breath, you feel yourself sinking just a little deeper, a little more completely into this profound state of relaxation. Your shoulders, which we softened earlier, now release to an even deeper level. They feel heavy and wide, melting away from your ears. This wave of release flows down your arms, through your elbows and forearms, all the way to the tips of your fingers. Your arms and hands feel wonderfully heavy and still. They have done enough. They can now be completely at peace. Finally, this feeling of deep, heavy release flows up into your neck and your head. Feel the muscles at the back of your neck letting go, and let your head feel heavy on the pillow. The pillow is holding it for you. You can release all control. As your body sinks into this deep state of rest, you can now welcome a release of all conscious thought. Imagine your mind as a busy train station, with thoughts coming and going like trains on 100 different tracks. For a while, we have been observing those trains, noticing their cargo of feelings and memories. But now, it is time to let the station close for the night. You can simply stand on the platform and watch as the last few trains pull away into the distance. You don't need to get on them. You don't need to examine their destination. You just watch them go, their lights fading into the darkness until the station is quiet and empty. If a new thought arrives, just see it as a late-running train and watch it pass through the station without stopping. You are not your thoughts. You are the quiet, peaceful stillness of the empty station at night. Sleep is coming now. Think of it not as something you have to do or achieve, but as something that is arriving to receive you. It is coming like a soft, silent tide, washing over the shore of your mind. With each breath, the tide comes a little higher. The first wave comes and washes over your heavy feet, smoothing away the day. Another wave comes, a little higher, washing over your legs and hips, smoothing everything away. The tide of sleep continues to rise, gently and slowly, washing over your stomach and chest, calming your heart, soothing your breath. It washes over your arms and shoulders, carrying away the last of their burdens. And now, the final gentle wave washes over your neck and your head, clearing your mind, smoothing away all the thoughts, all the worries, all the plans. The shore of your mind is now smooth, clear, and serene. The tide has come in, and you are floating now, held in its gentle, silent embrace. There is nothing to hold on to. There is nothing to resist. You are safe. You are held. You can simply allow yourself to drift on this peaceful, quiet water, letting it carry you out into the deep, restorative ocean of sleep. You have done all you can do. The rest is a gift, and it is time now to receive that gift. Just allow. Just rest. Let the tide carry you home. Just allow the soft tide of sleep to wash over the shore of your mind, smoothing everything away. As you drift on these quiet waters, on the very edge of sleep, let these last words be soft whispers that accompany you into the peaceful dark. They are not for your conscious mind to analyze, but for your deeper self to absorb, like the gentle night rain sinking into the sleeping earth. You are loved. This is a fundamental truth, deeper than any feeling of loneliness, more permanent than any temporary distance. The love you have given throughout your life has not vanished. It has been woven into the fabric of the world, into the hearts of the people you have touched. It exists as a real, and powerful energy. And you are held within that web of love, whether you can feel it in this moment or not. The love is there. It is the ground beneath your feet and the air that you breathe. It is in the memory of a shared laugh, in the warmth of a long-ago hug. It is in the very fact of the family you created. Let this truth be your deepest comfort. You are loved. You are whole. Your wholeness does not depend on anyone else's presence. It is not a puzzle with missing pieces that others must provide. You are a complete circle, a full and beautiful universe unto yourself. You contain all the strength, all the wisdom, all the resilience you will ever need. You have weathered every season of your life, and you have remained you, this unique and irreplaceable soul. Nothing and no one can diminish this wholeness. It is your birthright. It is the unshakable truth of your being. Rest in this completeness. Rest in the quiet dignity of your own soul. It is safe to let go now. It is safe to release your grip on the day, on its hurts and its worries. It is safe to surrender control. The night is a sacred time of healing and restoration. While you sleep, your body knows how to mend itself. Your heart knows how to process its grief. Your soul knows how to reconnect with its source. There is a deep intelligence at work in the universe and within you, and you can trust it to do its work while you rest. You don't have to manage your own healing. You only have to allow it. And the first step is to let go. So let go of the shore. Let go of the need to understand everything. Let go of the story. Trust the deep, dark water of sleep to hold you, to heal you, to renew you. Your breathing is so deep now, so slow. Each breath is a gentle wave, carrying you further and further away from the waking world. The rhythm of your breathing is the rhythm of the universe, a slow, ancient, peaceful pulse. There is nothing to do but to follow that rhythm, breathing in and letting go, breathing out and sinking deeper. The space between the breaths is growing longer, a space of pure, silent, peaceful emptiness. Just allow yourself to rest in that space. It is a space of pure potential, of pure peace. The words are fading now. They are becoming just sounds, just vibrations in the quiet air. They are dissolving into the background, like distant bells heard across a misty field. Your mind is no longer following their meaning. It is simply resting in the gentle cadence, the soft whisper. Let the sounds become part of your dream. Let them be the gentle current that carries you all the way into the deepest, most restorative sleep. There is only rest now, only peace, only the soft, silent, loving dark. Just allow. Just rest. The work is done. You are safe. You are whole. Sleep now. Deep, deep sleep. Allow the quiet to take you. Allow the peace to hold you. Rest now. Just rest.